Hello YouTube and welcome to Lagoon Customs and another episode of Start Working on Your Motorcycle. My name is Drew and I'd like to take you with on my motorcycle builder journey. So why did I start this series? There are a ton of jobs and changes that you can do on your motorcycle before tearing down the whole motorcycle and starting to custom build a bike. And if you're trying to find an entry point, then I hope you'll find one in one of these episodes. All I'm doing here is learning by doing over and over and over again. Okay, so what are we gonna do today? We are going to test a rust converter. I have found a few rusty spots on my Yamaha DT125 that I'd like to get rid of. So let's start by looking at what we'll need. You will need brake cleaner, sanding paper, 80 grit, rust converter, and a brush. Okay, so I should be able to just brush over with the rust converter and the job is done, right? No, unfortunately not. Rust converters have a very low penetration depth. Therefore, manual sanding is still necessary and should be done as thorough as possible. Try to sand it down so that you're left with only small pores in order for the rust converter to do a really good job. All right, let's get started. As you can see, I've already started sanding down the exhaust. There's still quite a bit of rust left in the back, which I will get rid of in a minute. And afterwards, I'll be covering everything with the Unox epoxy rust converter, which has a epoxy component in it, which will, after drying up, give it a protective layer against humidity. And in addition, it should turn black, so I won't have to spray paint the exhaust. All right, let's get started. So what you have seen me sanding down is the exhaust, but there were also a few other spots like here, here, and here, which I've already sanded down. And now we need to clean the whole thing, make sure there's no fat oil or anything on there before we brush it with the rust converter. And to do so, if you do have isoprene or however you pronounce that, use it, but I'm gonna use brake cleaner. Old shirt of mine. Brake cleaner is way cheaper and I have a lot of it. So all that we are left with are really small pores of rust, which is exactly what we wanted to have before we use the rust converter. All right, found a brush. Ta-da! Okay, it's been more than 6 hours now. It looks way better. And so it's time for the second coat. 6 hours have passed and I'm gonna give it the last and final coat. And as you can see, it is black, turned all into black. So I'm happy with the result. Glad that it's black because you could spray paint it, give it a better black color, but for me, I'm fine with this and I'm gonna leave it as such. There's still a very little bit left, but I'm confident that we'll get rid of that with the second coating and that is stable connection with won't further coolant. All right, let's see what another 6 hours will do. All right, we're finished with the rust converter experiment. I'm really happy with the results. As you can see, the rust is all gone. It took me 2 coatings to get rid of everything, and in between I always waited for 6 hours, and you can see a slight difference between the 2 shades of black, but that doesn't really bother me. And if it does bother you, then please spray paint over it. I'm in a rush, so I can't be bothered. I hope you have fun, and remember, if you do use different tools to sand off the rust, be careful. Always depends on how rusty those parts are. You don't want to sand another hole into the exhaust because it's so rusted, and if something like that happens, then a rust converter won't be able to help you. You'll have to weld something over it. As for example, with my Honda VT500, maybe some of you don't know, but in Switzerland, you are not allowed to weld anything on an exhaust. So if you have a hole, you're not allowed to weld it closed. And I was lucky enough, I didn't know that. And when I went to the examination, I was lucky enough to have an examiner who understood that it is an old motorcycle and I will have a hard time finding a new exhaust for this motorcycle. So he kind of let me pass through the examination, which was very nice and cool. So thank you for that. Anyway, we're at the end of this episode. Thank you for watching. I hope you have fun. I hope you learned something. I hope you found kind of a new entry point to start working on your motorcycle. If you liked the episode, please subscribe, hit the like button, and leave some comments if you have feedback. All right, peace out. Hello? Have you already forgot about me? But I haven't forgot about you, huh? Oh, how are you doing, huh? Everything okay? Yeah, with me too, huh? I'm very happy now. We found a new garage, huh? It's a bit far away, but it's bigger, huh? And soon we are gonna show you how we are going to put things into the new garage, huh? Put new stuff, move this one, break everything down here, take away everything. And then we're gonna move everything from one garage to the other garage, huh? And it's gonna be great, I'm telling you. You have to watch. Keep on watching, huh? Thank you for your support, huh? Thank you very much, huh? See you soon. Bye bye. I love you.